Hey, welcome back to Nobody Sports with Jay and Nick. Two nobodies with two mics, talking sports with the NFL specifically. We've wrapped up our predictions on how we saw each of the divisions shape out or what we think they're going to do, and we're like what we did. Got through a lot of episodes with some blood, sweat, and tears, and today we're going to break. What's our way too early predictions, where we're going to talk about who we see as MVP, offensive, defensive, rookie of the year, number one O&D, our playoff picks, and then we'll end on some bold predictions. And Jay, I think you've got some things to talk about.
I do, but first thing, a correction. One mic.
One mic. Yeah, it is only one mic. That is
one mic. One mic. We switched to one mic.
Two mics, one cup, right?
There we go. Yeah, that's it. There you go. With that, so we do actually breaking news, which breaking news yesterday. We're not the best breaking news guys. We still have full-time jobs. Now, as we gain support, we would like to someday do this full-time. And then, of course, we're going to be on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's where you'll see us like at the back of a Costco shooting some stuff on a 2 o'clock going like, oh my gosh,
getting the insiders.
The NFL just blew up. But,
tweeting about it even.
Yeah, the Twitter. I know all the Twitters now. Anyway, it's a great movie, by the way. But with that, Micah Parsons, moving to the Packers. And, it's funny because I am seeing a bunch of analysts talking about how this just moves the needle. The Packers now, Nick, I don't know if you knew this or not, are now the team in the best position to challenge the Eagles for the NFC.
When I first heard this, I kind of thought one thing, and I was like, does this change how I felt about how the division shape out, considering we just, did an episode on that. And I didn't see it changing at all. I still see the Packers in second, and I still see them as a playoff team. So
I do too. Here's where I think it does move the needle is because there's a couple things now that I've done a deep dive into Micah, because you just hear Micah's and on paper it looks good, double-digit sacks every year.
Yep.
But then you hear a guy like John Gruden, old Chucky himself, say, hey, on running downs, I wanted to know exactly where Micah Parsons is at, because that's where the running back was going to run the ball down his throat.
Right.
So if I'm going to pay a guy $40+ million, here's what I expect. Okay, fine. So Micah Parsons might be the best pure pass rusher on obvious passing downs in the NFL. Give him that. He's generational there. But can't stop the run.
Right. And, speaking of running down your throat, Penei Sewell and the Lions are coming to Lambeau to do just that. That's their first test.
They got rid of Clark, too. I actually think their run defense gets worse. But here's where I do think that it does show up. And I think that it will look splashy and make them look good in a sense. What you're going to see is when they're playing the Bears, the Caleb Williams of the world.
Right.
Micah Parsons is going to feast. Oh, man, the Packers are going to be like the Dolphins dropping 70 on the donkeys. Oh, my goodness. But then they're going to play a real team.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And that first real team is going to be the Lions. And I'll be watching that matchup specifically. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, you might want to be playing them both in fantasy week 1.
Foreshadowing?
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Let's go.
And so now with that being said, what we'll do is we're going to dive into the show, right?
Let's do it.
Let's go through our awards. We're going to go through our, season predictions as far as the playoff seedings, who makes the playoffs. And where do we want to start first?
Well, we want to start real quick. Just one last thing on the Micah before we move on, because I didn't mention this. I apologize. I actually just thought of it. But I'm not giving Jerry any credit on this at all.
Yeah.
But I actually think that the Cowboys are probably better off in the big picture without that massive contract, too. I just want to point that out.
Emotionally, they are. The win column, they're not.
Well, of course not this year. They're a mess, but they were a mess with them.
I think that does, fall back or circle back to us. I think we both called them to be finishing in last place. This trade definitely does not. Yeah, exactly. Does not change that. So, comment and let us know, who do you think won the trade? Was it Packers
or Jera's World?
Jera's World.
World.
So with that being said, I think we'll go into, our way too early predictions. I think, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the awards, or do you want to start with the you want to start with the playoffs and seedings?
Well, no, we could do. It's up to you. So
let's do.
I think we do playoffs and seedings, and then we wrap up with awards. Yearly awards.
Let's do that. So, we're going to go to playoffs, and we'll start with the AFC. So you'll go ahead and start and kind of let us know what you see.
With this, the AFC, my team's in the AFC, so I'm going to take more of the floor with the AFC playoffs and seeding. Vice versa with the NFC, we're going to see Nick kind of take over a little bit more with that division. So basically, I'm going to kind of take the floor with most of this for this part. But then at the end, Nick's going to kind of, take a few minutes and try and pick apart what I know about my conference, right?
I might have something to say.
Right. Yeah. So with that, and I get this is the homer pick, but I'm 100% right. It's the Chiefs' revenge tour.
100% wrong.
No.
Number one, wrong.
Okay. So let's look at this. So last year, no left tackle, below average offensive line. What did they do? What was the record again? I don't remember.
I don't.
Oh, wait. Also, let's also add in receiving core decimated with injuries. Worst year from Travis Kelce in his career, probably, since going back to when he was a rookie. Which, by the way, still almost 1,000 yards. Still a great year by tight end standards, but down year for him. What did they do again? They went 15-2. Well, oh, that's right. They went to the Super Bowl again for the third time in a row. Go back to the year before that. Did they still have a below average offensive line? How many teams go to back-to-back Super Bowls with below average offensive lines? Now, what did they do in the draft this year?
Yeah, they did a few things. They addressed those needs.
The offensive line
actually
looks like an average to above average offensive line now.
Yeah.
So now you're going to give a 15-2 team, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, pass protection. They also added in, and watch this day because Rashee Rice will be out the first 6 games, but watch out for Tyquan Thornton. I saw that, and granted, we only got to see a sneak peek in the preseason, but and I get it's the Bears, but it was Bears starters against Chiefs starters, and man, did that offense look like it did 4 years ago.
Right.
It was exciting. So on their series. So with that, people are not putting enough respect with Andy Reid.
Right.
And here's, greatest offensive coach, best coach team in the NFL, really, with Spags and Andy Reid. You can't pick a better setup there.
It definitely is a homer pick, but I expected nothing less, to be honest. So, and that's okay. I see. Listen, there's nothing wrong. The question is, when do you stop betting on Mahomes, or when do you start betting on Mahomes, like you said?
Not only this, I'm going to tell you I'm right. And just to reference with Andy Reid, some of his success, 20 plus years back to back, NFC East champs. Who's the last coach to do it?
Yeah.
Was it Bill Parcells? Was it Wade Phillips?
Yeah.
Was it Mike McCarthy? Was it, no, it was Andy Reid.
Right.
Andy Reid hasn't been in that division in how long?
Right.
Last guy to go back to back. And he was doing it when that was a tough. You had Eli. You had Romo. Yeah, the Cowboys were good then. The Cowboys were good, actually.
So let's let them know all of them, and then you can kind of break down each of the teams. So 1 Chiefs. Who do you got 2?
All right, so I've got Chiefs number 1 seed at 15-2. I've got the Ravens with the 2 seed 14-3. Again, done in the divisional round though. Choke artists, but great regular season team. They're going to get MVPs and all that good stuff. Cool beans for them. Bills 3rd seed. Now I could flip the Bills and Ravens, but Bills 13-4. Now the Bills are a real contender. They're legit. Josh Allen is somewhat to fear in the playoffs. Texans, I have them 4 seed by default, 12-5.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing: the first wild card team I actually have is a better record than the Texans. I have the Broncos coming in at a solid 13-4.
Yeah.
I know that their schedule's tougher, and I hate saying this as a Chiefs fan. And that's the thing is, I'm a homer, but if the Chiefs suck, I'll tell you the Chiefs suck. But
right.
I have good reason.
And we'll tell you the Chiefs suck too.
Of course, everyone loves to say it. That's why I'm loving it. Eagles did us a favor. That was highly motivational. But anyway, with that though, and then actually, here's where I think we may differ a little bit.
Yeah.
For the 6th and 7th, I have the Patriots 11-6. I really like what they're doing. I like Drake May. And then I don't like the offensive line, but I do love the offense. I like the new coach. I do like what I'm hearing out of the camp. And actually, it's funny, before I started deep diving into this, I was pretty much kind of over the whole Trevor Lawrence thing.
Right.
But, I could see them getting the 7th seed at 10-7, and then, which is trying to do a bold prediction later, like I said before, Mike Tomlin, first losing record, misses the playoffs.
Right. Oh, I still don't like it. I still don't, and that is where we will disagree. So I posted them up on the screen here. So all your picks. So you got, Chiefs 1, Ravens 2, Bills 3, Texans 4, Broncos 5, Patriots 6, Jags 7, and I like it. So kind of like you said, you kind of broke down each of the teams too. I like it. I disagree. I mean, of course, we're going to disagree, and I like that too. I mean, you can't always have the same picks. And I'll post mine here in a second. But I got one Bills. I think the Bills are going to go 14-3. I'm kind of changing the record since we did our divisional breakdown. But I really like the Bills jumping out in the AFC. I think it's this year. I got them actually going to the Super Bowl as well. I think McDermott's got those guys right where they want to be. Josh Allen's Josh Allen. There's no reason to think the Bills aren't going to do again what they did last year. Number 2, I got Ravens, 12-5. Number 3, I got the Broncos winning the AFC West. I think this is going to be a big year for the Broncos. I think this will be the year
playoffs for the first. I think we're going a little bit of a leap there, don't you think?
It is.
Holy crap, God! We just need the Chiefs to lose so bad. We're willing to reach.
It's not
the
that
straws.
we need to. It's that that's what's.
That's
happen.
how it was with the Patriots dynasty too.
It is.
The takes that you got.
It is
just to find out that the Patriots are that good at the end of the year.
I agree with you that the Texans will be the 4 seed, and then I've got Chiefs, the number 5 wild card. Number 6, I got Chargers, and then number 7, I got Steelers. So
here's the thing: is would you bet money that the Chiefs are going to lose the division?
So what would be the bet?
$50. Straight
No,
up.
just that.
Just
so
between you and
I get the
$50.
I get the field, and you get the Chiefs.
No, just that the Chiefs are a wild card. The Chiefs don't win the AFC West. I'll bet you $50 the Chiefs win the division this year.
I like to save my gambling money.
Exactly, because that's why I just feel like that's how does anyone take themselves seriously and analyze sports and not shoe in the Chiefs as the division winner until someone finally takes the crown?
Well, you got to think it's going to
earned
happen
it?
someday. They have earned it, but it's going to happen someday.
But they don't get the respect. It's
Yeah,
okay, keep
no,
the
they
shade
get the
coming.
respect.
So
They
Nick,
absolutely.
you're going to go
get-
on the board, okay?
Oh,
I'm gonna have to hit up Nick. I don't even know. First things first. I'm gonna have Nick Wright put you on the board.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're going
Hey,
on the board, Nick.
The good news is that we got receipts. We got receipts. So
We do. It's absolutely crazy. Here's what I will tell you: it's what the Chiefs to not win, because I get it. The fatigue of them dominating the AFC in such a fashion that's unheard of.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that, but at the same token, don't bet on it don't bet on it until it starts happening. Okay,
Yeah.
that's one you're better off, because you're going to lose more than you're going to win on that one.
Yeah.
Andy Reid wins his division.
Yeah.
That's what he does. That's what he's done his whole career.
I can't wait
Against
to
all
see.
kinds of coaches.
I can't wait to see your Super Bowl pick. With that being said, let's switch on over to the NFC.
Who's beat him in the AFC the last 3 years? This will be the 4th year. I wonder if anyone's going to take him this time.
I wonder.
Who's made the big leap to take him? The Chiefs are the most improved contender out of the contenders this year. And they won it last year. And they made the biggest
Well, they didn't win
improvements.
it last year. They finished second.
In the AFC? No.
They won the AFC, yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's
Chargers will Charger.
Chargers will yeah, that we differ there.
The Chargers will Charger.
And then I got Tomlin in.
Here's what I will say: the Chargers, though, I do think they make the playoffs next year. I don't like the injuries. They're getting hit with the injury bug that I don't like on their offensive line, which is going to hurt their depth and a lot of the things Harbaugh likes to do. They went from a potentially best offensive line, like definitely top 5 offensive line in the NFL, to an average offensive line with their injuries.
Yeah.
Which, granted, they could still do okay with an average offensive line, but I still don't trust Herbert.
Yeah.
I mean, Herbert's the only guy who made Lawrence look good.
Yeah.
That's why I picked the Jags over the Chargers. That's what it came down to.
He did make Lawrence look good.
Yeah, he did. He's the only guy who ever made Lawrence look good.
And the Jags are always that trendy pick. Same with the Chargers. They're both the trendy pick, Usually always someone's on.
Prince.
Yeah.
A Prince.
So let's switch over to the NFC, and I'll start first. And number one, I feel really good about this, even after the whole Parsons trade. I got the Lions number 1. I got them 14-3. I've got the Buccaneers coming in at number 2 at 13-4. I've got the Rams coming in at number 3, 11-6. And I got the Eagles coming in at number 4, 11-6. And don't get me wrong, I do think that I could be wrong with the Eagles. The Eagles, of course, could finish 1
What
or
about
2.
Stafford's back?
We're playing this as though injuries. I mean, we don't know. You never know.
We
But yeah.
know that his back is effed up. No, we do know.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
So you're saying Jimmy G is starting this year at least one game?
I'm saying that Stafford. So here's the thing. I saw a report that a doctor said that, like, basically Stafford's back is like the age of like a 70-year-old or some crap. Like, his back has aged horribly. I can't remember what the percentage was or the exact take, but it was disturbing.
Again, I think if anyone's going to ride through the pain, I'll pick Stafford. So
I get that, but
So-
70% Matthew Stafford changes things a lot.
But Eagles number 4, Packers. I got number 5 at 12-5. Commanders 10-7, the sixth seed, and then 49ers coming in at the 7th seed. And I'll put them up here in just a second here. But how do you see my picks here?
I've got Bucks as the number 1 seed and Lions as the number 2 seed.
So we just flip there.
Pretty much, but I could see that going either way. But I'm really high on the Bucks this year and Baker Mayfield. They're the dark horse of the NFC that no one's talking about. And here's where the stars align. Their schedule too. They're coasting through. Out of all the contenders, they have the Lions have a brutal schedule. They have a brutal road schedule.
They do.
The Bucks, though, half of their schedule's cake because their division. So I mean, they got 6 wins. I think, looking at their division, they got 6 wins just right there.
That's why I had the Bucks. At
The
2
other teams
as
can't
well.
say that about their
No.
divisions the same way.
I think that matters.
It does. So with that, that's why I gave them the edge. And then so this is going to be a little bit of a flip flop. And it's mainly, I was really concerned with their injuries, but I'm looking at a lot of them should come back week 6. And reports are the young players are playing well. The defense is playing better. Stafford's back, changes things a lot. For me with the Rams, if it wasn't for Stafford's back, and I knew Stafford could even be 80 to 90% for a whole season, the Rams would be here. However, I do not believe that for a second based on the reports coming out of training camp. I got to be honest about that. So I'm actually going to, originally I had the Seahawks here, I think earlier in our divisional breakdowns. I'm actually changing it. I'm going to have the Niners winning the division. The other thing too, Shanahan is actually, when you look back, he's got a thing about every other year.
Yeah.
Like, he bounces back. Every other year, the Niners are really good, and then they fall off.
So this is their every other
It
year.
is. It's
You know
due.
what's funny about that? So the Giants baseball, they won the World Series like that in 2012, 14, and 16. So it must be a San Francisco thing every other year.
They celebrate a little too hard.
Yeah.
What are you doing there in San Francisco, huh? The what capital? The Shanahan. Anyway, sorry, no, don't sue me.
So
But-
you got Bucks 1, Lions 2, Niners 3.
Eagles actually have 4th too.
There you go.
I do think the Eagles with the division. But here's what's funny though is actually, I have the Packers as the 5th seed at 12-5, and then I actually have the Eagles at 11-6. Not because I think the Packers are the better team, but because of the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then actually I have the damn commies tying the Eagles at 11-6, but Eagles will win the division due to strength of schedule tiebreaker.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
how I have it.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be neck and neck. I
Yeah.
really do. I think they split with each other. I like a lot of what the commies are doing. And then as a surprise team, I'm going to buy the hype. I'm going to say, as long as, I'm going to put this on it, but as long as he starts by week 6 at the latest, which I think will happen, I actually think it'll be closer to week 4. You got to get rid of Mr. Unlimited and then put in Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
I really like Jackson Dart, and we need that name. And then
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors, you give the Cowboys a quarterback. For example, Aaron Rodgers goes to the Giants. I feel a little differently than I do about him with the Steelers.
Yeah.
I really do.
You do?
Plus, Cam Scatterbo. The Giants have a team, bro. And then they added Abdul Carter to an already dominant defensive line.
And we'll talk more about him
We will, yes. I mean, it's Malik Neighbors. So here's the
Malik Neighbors is awesome.
is already in the Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson conversation, and he's had 1 year, rookie year, and he's already put himself in that conversation.
So I actually,
And I have them 7, 10, and 7 as the surprise team nobody
Yeah.
saw coming.
I like it.
One and done in the playoffs.
I like it. We're actually not too much different. I mean, we both have Bucks Lions, but flip flop at 1 and 2. You have the Niners, I have the Rams. Okay. We both have Eagles at 4. Both have Packers at 5. The Commanders at 6. And then our difference is you got the Giants making it, so 3 teams out of the East. And then I got the Niners as the wild card team on my schedule. So it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. Injuries, of course, will play in it. I'm telling you right now, though, if Stafford is healthy for this year, Stafford and the Rams will be contending
Of course
for the
they will.
NFC title.
They're a
So,
Super Bowl contender.
They are a Super Bowl contender.
And honestly, even if it's something where this is actually would be a best case scenario for him, if Stafford doesn't start the first 6 weeks, and it doesn't really matter what they
Have
do
him
the
come
first
in
6
as be the
weeks,
closer.
and
so
then
to
have him
speak.
come in and be healthy for when it
Yeah.
matters. Because that's the other thing too is they could do really well the regular season with the division, but then Stafford's back falls apart week 15,
Yeah.
and then
now
you're limping into the playoffs and you're one and done.
It's an interesting strategy for sure. I mean, you rest your guy for a little bit, have him play when it matters most. However, I don't. They're not going to do that.
Of course not.
Stafford's.
You don't do
starting
that in
week,
the NFL.
Yeah, you just don't do that. So Stafford starting week 1, Texans. We're at SoFi.
I don't like that start for him either.
Yeah, we'll see. We actually play the AFC South like 3 of our first 4 games. So
Right, but
it'll be
Texas is the
interesting.
worst one to start with.
Yeah, well, get the difficult one out of the way. The rest will be easy. If we could go 3-1, let's
Assuming Stafford survives.
I mean, I see us being 3-1 during that division run, and then possibly being 4-0. I actually see us being 4-0. I hope that's a goal. 4-0 against the AFC South.
See, I feel like you're stretching your homer pick a little bit.
No, stretching your homer pick. What was that intro that you gave us?
Saying that they would have the
that
same
Chiefs
record
would be
that they
number
had
1.
last year?
Yeah,
saying that
exactly.
they would do exactly the same thing they did last year, and it's not like there's any injury concerns with our franchise quarterback. If there was reports coming out about Mahomes' back, like there are about Stafford, I would not have made that pick.
All right. Yeah, we'll see.
I would not.
That brings us to the Super Bowl. So, who do you? I'll give you the first pick. Who do you see Super Bowl?
It's Mahomes and Baker. Love the marketing. Mahomes gets his revenge on the Bucks, but Brady wasn't there, so that'll be the asterisk next to it. People will disrespect him over that.
Look, your big brother did this. It's your big brother's fault.
Yep. Baker, though, as much as I like Baker, he's got a little too much Favre. So I do think the Bucks will have a little bit of the better team, but unfortunately, Baker throws a couple interceptions.
I don't know. Bucks, Chiefs again. If we had Chiefs, Eagles twice. Do we really need Bucks, Chiefs twice?
Oh,
do we need that in our lives? I know you probably feel that you need that in your life, but we'll see. We'll see. My pick for the Super Bowl, I'm going to go with Bills Lions. Both are conference favorites. Vegas right now has them both ranked number 2 in the conference. Both have elite offenses. I mean, you can make the case that they could both be the top 2 offenses in the NFL.
Bills never beat the Chiefs.
I would love to see that AFC title match, Bills Chiefs. Let's see it. And it does matter where it's at. Is it at Buffalo or is it at Arrowhead?
Here's my problem with the Bills is that the Bills did not. So the Bills have an average defense, and they put too much on Josh Allen.
Well, we'll see. But
Josh Allen's great.
Well, let me get through the rest of my little spiel here with why I see Bills Lions.
All right.
The coaching matchup would be awesome. You've got Sean McDermott, Dan Campbell. A lot of Campbell. He's aggressive. And McDermott, he's disciplined. It'd be great to see that dynamic. The star power too. You got Josh Allen and Jared Goff. That'd be a hell of a Super Bowl to watch. The thing is about it though, with that kind of Super Bowl, is the fan bases too. Both fan bases love their teams, and you can, as a fan of another team, you kind of root for them a little bit, for the Bills and the Lions. And I think I think a lot of the other fan bases would be torn if that was the matchup. The historical significance would be sweet because neither teams won a Super Bowl. Detroit's never been, but that would be sweet. That would be my Super Bowl.
So it
So
would be cool.
yeah,
It
yeah.
would be cool.
So
Wish upon a star.
we're holding receipts, so we'll find out.
Now, with that, I don't hate the Lions pick. I
No.
could see the Lions there.
Yeah.
So I don't hate that, but you got to earn it. And the floor for Patrick Mahomes is an AFC championship game.
The floor. Well, and you're not
Patrick
wrong.
Mahomes
The
has his worst
the
season.
stats bear that out. His worst season is the AFC Championship. That's what it is. And
By the way, though, to go for a little bit further, my Super Bowl pick,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
actually have it 42-35 in overtime, setting a new all-time
Yeah.
total points in the Super Bowl record at 77, being the previous record going back to 95.
nice.
With the Niners beating the Chargers 49-26. See, the Chargers will continue to charger.
Well, so in that game, I remember as a kid,
The
but
Chargers always charger. That's what I mean.
Steve Young threw 6 touchdown passes in that game. A lot to Rice, Jerry Rice. You had
Yeah.
Ricky Waters. That team was elite. So
Wasn't that when they had a young T.O. too? Like his
Yes,
rookie year?
yes.
Yeah, they had T.O.
yeah, so a very young To. Yeah,
Mhm.
Uh,
J.J. Stokes, I think, wasn't he on there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
See, in the 80s and 90s when I was a kid, I tried to block out Niners Rams a little bit because there was the Niners won 17 games in a row, and I just will never forget that, unfortunately. But to be fair, we had to go through Joe Montana to Steve Young, and that's what happens to a lot of teams in that back.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Bills. You got to go through Mahomes.
You got to
just can't.
and you will. I'll tell you what, that'll be a hell of an AFC title match, though. Bills Chiefs, and people want to see that. That I think they do. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
Well, it's going to be someone against the Chiefs.
Yeah. So,
The good old Arrowhead Invitational.
but you like Bucks Chiefs in the Super Bowl? I like it.
I like it for
So-
a record-setting performance too. I think it's going to be a track meet. I love it.
So we've talked a lot about the teams a little bit. Let's go back and let's talk about individual players. What we'll do is we'll go over who we think who we see as the MVP, who's the offensive and defensive rookies of the year, and then we will go back to the teams in essence,
Overall offense and overall defense.
offense and overall defense. Yeah. So let's start with the MVP, and I'll start on this one, and I think we both have it the same, right? I've got Baker, right? Baker last year, number 3 in yards at 4,500, number 2 in touchdowns with 41, 71 completion percentage is just sick.
No,
And he had 106 rating. He's coming off career best in all those categories. He's got a great supporting cast with Evans and Godwin, and his offensive line they're just studs. Godwin was hurt a lot last year, so having him back would be great. You got the new OC, Josh Grizzard. He is familiar with the team. He's got a background with the Dolphins. His focus is going to be on Baker, as people have talked about, and should hit the ground running. You see a lot more intermediate passes, is what they're talking about, the extensive motion. I think with the guys that Tampa has, Evans and Godwin, you can easily do that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the MVP does kind of revolve around what the team's success is and what the quarterback does. And if Baker's going to even come close to what he did last year, and the Bucks finish 1 or 2, I could see that as being MVP.
Yeah, right. No, I could. Here's what I have for my MVP take. Who cares? I'm picking Baker, but it will probably be Lamar, Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, or maybe Saquon as a bold take if he could be the first guy to do 2,000 back-to-back or whatever. But undoubtedly the real MVP of last year's NFL, being the key difference in their success and Super Bowl dominance. It doesn't really. It's the same thing I asked before. You want MVPs or rings?
Rings.
I don't. The real ones will tell you. Yeah, cool. I got an MVP. I want a ring. I'm gonna put a ring on it.
Yeah.
Who's it? Beyonce said that.
And how many times have you seen in the past where they give the MVP,
All the real ones will tell you.
but then you kind of feel like the guy who got voted offensive or defensive player of the year might have had a better.
Plus, this is what's also frustrating is the way they do it. The MVP isn't really the MVP a lot of times.
Right.
It's always a quarterback, which I do get. A lot of times it should be a quarterback. But there are times, and even same thing with Rookie of the Year. For example, I will tell you right now, Tristan Wirfs should have been the Offensive Rookie of the Year when he was drafted.
Mm-hmm.
He was drafted as a rookie and did it immediately was a top 10 tackle. he had a rocky start his first few weeks,
Yeah.
but by the end of the year, I think he was like top 5 going into the, like the way he played in the playoffs, and they win a Super Bowl with Brady.
I'm kind of with you. I don't pay
He
too
was
much
the most
attention.
he was the most valuable offensive pickup. Period.
Right. It does matter who your rookies of the years are because that's your future, right? That's where you're heading.
Does, but I don't like the way that they pick it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you can only basically to be offensive rookie of the year, you have to be a quarterback or a running back, or you're not getting it.
Well, and that's where my pick, I hope, changes the status quo.
Defensive player of the year, you got to be an edge rusher.
Yeah. We'll see. So let's dive into that, actually. Let's switch over to the rookies of the year. Go ahead and let's start with you. Offensive rookie of the year. Who you got?
Bold take, Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart, the guy who's scheduled not to start week 1. Got it.
Correct.
Got it.
That's why it's a bold take.
I like it. So what can we expect from Dart?
I think Dart comes in and plays 10 or 12 games, but I think that they're great. I still think he puts up like 3,000 yards with it. I do. I think he looks really good. The other thing too is I think next year could see a little bit of, because defensive coordinators will catch up to him, but he's got a little bit of an advantage there. Defensive coordinators don't have the tape on him. I think, Ed, honestly, looking at preseason tape, I get it's preseason. Nobody impressed me more than him. Not Cam Ward, nobody. He was leaps and bounds better than all of the other rookie quarterbacks on tape with the tape he has put up. Like, I'm talking leaps and bounds, like another category.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I am 50-50 on our trade with the Falcons because I wish the Giants would have let Dart slip. Because if they wouldn't have picked him, I'm confident the Rams would have drafted Dart. I like him.
Good. His instincts look good.
So what you're saying to me, though, is that Dart's going to come in and lead the Giants to the playoffs.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
I picked them. That was,
you did.
Did you not see that? That was my 7th.
Listen, I'm a little slow sometimes. I'm just putting things together here. So
here's what else is crazy though, too.
Correctly.
To go into another bold take,
yeah.
Rookie defensive player of the year, Abdullah Carter.
So wait, hold on. So let me get this straight. The Giants are making the playoffs and they're winning both offensive and defensive rookies of the year.
Correct.
Oh my goodness. When you go
Here's
down,
the thing.
when you go down for a team, you go down for a team.
You agree with me on the defensive player of the year, though?
No, I don't agree with you on the defensive player of the year. I mean,
that's right.
I do think Abdul Carter. I'm not. Listen, my take is only different just because I want this. I want this to happen, but I think it. Honestly, I think there's a good possibility of it happening too.
Right.
So
let me ask you this: if you had to bet, because I get what
if
you
I
want,
had to
and I
bet,
respect.
I actually would bet.
You would put the money on Abdul because he's the pass rusher.
I would put the money on Abdul because he's the pass rusher.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how they pick it.
So my bet, or my pick, excuse me, is Malachi Starks, safety for the Ravens. They drafted him out of Georgia. His college tape looks phenomenal. He had 197 tackles at Georgia. I think it's 127 of them were solo. 6 picks, 23 passes defended. The Ravens drafted him to be a versatile player in their offense, and he really didn't play a whole lot in preseason. But in the plays that he did play, he absolutely, checked that box as can he play the, different roles. He lined up as your high safety in a cover 1. He lined up in the slot. He lined up to blitz, lined up in the Robert position. He's just got a great reaction to the ball and just the overall, good.
So that's your number one
of the
defense
field.
pick then, right?
What? I know, right? It's kind of, I'm picking him because I like. That's exactly
no, but the Ravens are going to be your overall defense then, right?
No,
because they're already stacked, and now they're adding in the stud safety.
I mean,
that would put them.
It does make a good case for the Ravens. It does. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that. And it's funny you say that because neither one of us have the Ravens as the number 1 defense. By the way,
I know, but the way you just did that pitch, you're making me think
great.
They should.
I know. That's and that's just exactly it. Ravens are a great defense. Kyle Hamilton, stud, right? Awesome leader. He's going to show them the way. It is going to be hard for Malachi to win this award because no safety has actually won the award for defensive rookie of the year since 1990 when Mark Carrier did it with the Bears. And then no Raven has done it since Terrell Suggs did it back in 2003. So, it's a little bit of a bold take, if you will. Not really, because amongst vote getters, actually, there are one poll I saw, he was actually second amongst their vote getters. So people paid attention to him, and
The only thing that
I
worries
like
me
it.
is that because he's on such a stacked defense, not that he won't be the stud you're saying he is, he may not have the opportunity to have the stats on paper.
well, it's
that
a
carries
rookie
him there.
award, those two, so people are aware of that. I think he'll actually get better opportunities to showcase his talent than I mean, obviously set by the preseason. They trust him, or at least they want to trust him.
But how
Let's
do
say
you
that.
carve out the 100 tackles on that defense? Right.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what I'm
that-
looking at.
yeah,
That's going to be tough
yeah,
because there's so many
yeah,
studs there
no,
that
that is true.
it's going to. So ideally, if he's as good as you say he is, him and Kyle Hamilton's stats will actually go down a little bit because they're both so good on tackle. There's going to be certain stats that they'll because they're both so good.
This guy can also cover
Right.
the tight ends. So that when you
That's
got
what Kyle Hamilton's supposed to be able to do.
well, it can't hurt to have multiple guys.
I can't wait to see Kelsey School in
No,
the playoffs.
you'll see it. We'll see it. Ravens do play Chiefs, so right in the season.
Yeah, in the regular season.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That'll be one of our 2 losses.
Yeah,
We like to make them feel confident in the
in
regular,
the regular
season.
season.
Yeah,
then,
so we're going to lose to the Ravens and the Bills,
right.
and then we're going to sweep everyone else.
Got it. I like it. I like where your head's at.
Yeah, but then in the playoffs, we're going to say, "Oh, you thought you were better than us."
Yeah,
We took that week off, bro.
yeah. So offensive rookie of the year. I've got Ashton Genty. I know it's a little bit of a homer pick, just
Now, here's the only
But-
thing I don't like about that is if Ashton. So here's my problem with
Well,
Ashton
I haven't even
Genty.
told you. Let me tell you why I like it, and then you can tell me why you don't like it.
Okay. What do you like?
You know. So in college, he had 284 missed tackles forced, which is just an obscene number, and
What was his level of competition?
that's fair.
Okay.
It's not the SEC. 74% of his yards came from yards after contact,
Correct.
which is just another sick stat.
That he looked for, right? He's a look for contact guy,
He's explosive, he's quick, he's powerful.
but he's very much a look for contact guy.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. He's going into an offense that's going to be ran by Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll, and they both want to run the ball. That's what they're predicating their offenses off of. They're a run heavy team with a featured back. So I think that plays well into Genty's hands. He's going to get plenty of opportunities. He is a 3-down back. He can pass block. He can catch. He can do it all.
A
And
little undersized though, right? Yeah.
we'll see. I am curious because you did bring up a valid point. His level of competition at college was the Mountain West, right? That's my biggest question with him too.
No.
How does he transition to getting hit in the NFL?
Here's the problem: is we've already seen it preseason. He looked great, but here's the problem with Ashton Genty: is he is undersized. So he's buff, he's got a good frame, but he's like 5'8", right? So he's undersized. He's an undersized back. Okay. With that, he's very great, very elusive. He finds the hole really well. Here's the big problem I saw though: is his running style, which you can get away with this in the Mountain West.
Yeah.
You can break through the O line and then pick your linebacker and just charge right into him and run him over.
Well,
Ashton Genty plays that way.
His
He
vision
runs people over and he looks for the contact, and that's what helped him in college. You can't run it, and so here's what I saw the preseason. He looked great, and then I watched him do it. He literally ran right to a middle linebacker to run him over, and then got laid out and went to the blue tent.
Chiefs fan not liking a Raiders pick for an award.
No,
I totally
no, no,
understand.
No.
I understand.
Nothing to do with that. He's got to change. I think he has the potential to be great, but he's got to change that.
We'll see.
If he can adjust that, but so far in preseason, it's the one thing he didn't adjust. I don't know. You adjust that instinct. I don't know. He
That
stays healthy
seems
for
like
a
an
year.
easy fix. I mean, his vision is a strength of his. I mean, he's got that. So if that was really a problem, I don't see him having any problem with it. Here's the other thing too. What kind
He
of
already had a problem with it. I just told you about the problem he already had.
But when you're deciding on this award, though, what kind of impact do you have on your team? The Raiders last year were 32nd in the NFL in rushing.
So if he stays healthy, I love your pick.
Yeah, exactly. So
I
that's
don't think
gonna
he stays healthy.
that's
though,
gonna
with
give
his
him
running style.
a good opportunity. I mean, they were last, so his impact will be right away. So, who's your offensive rookie? Oh yeah, you went dark. That's right.
Jackson Thorne, quarterback.
Oh yeah, Giants fan. Wait, are you Giants or Chiefs? I'm
I'm a Chiefs
confused.
Doesn't mean I can't like what a team did the
I
offseason or their preseason tape.
But you're all in on the Giants. I love it.
As a wild card, as the 7th seed.
Dangerous. You have no faith in him, huh?
Not that I have no faith in him. He's actually looked pretty solid, but we know you know what you're going to get from him.
You do. Well,
Check
yeah.
down Charlie, beautiful moon ball about once every 3 weeks.
So let's dive on over to the teams. Best offense and best defense. I'll give you the floor first. Let's start offense. Who do you have as the number one offense?
Well, I view it differently for offense. I care about who's best situationally and best of the fourth quarter.
Right, because
the Chiefs, but I actually think the Chiefs will be a top 5 offense statistically this year. But I think that again, when you, especially if you have top 5 statistic numbers, right, and then you're the best situationally.
And what we're talking about is like we were talking about during our production. We're like, hey, what do you gauge overall defense or offense? Is it total yards allowed? Is it points given up? Is it situational, like you're talking about? Third down, red zone, fourth quarter, fourth down, all that stuff. So I looked at it from a perspective of total yards. So with my offense pick, I went with the Lions. Lions number one were in last year they were number one in points per game. So and they didn't get worse. So let's make that clear. That was your take on the Chiefs. Status quo wins. Yards per game for number 2. Points per play number 1. Yards per play number 2. Elite skill position players with Gibbs and Montgomery, and then Amon St. Brown and Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. I mean, you got all those guys. Offensive line, that'll be interesting. You've got 3 new starters, but they do have the best offensive lineman in the NFL. With Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell. Man, I just watched his top 100. That dude just runs over people. Micah Parsons, look out. Right. So John Morton's going to be their new offensive coordinator. Lots of personnel packages with this guy. Puts the best, players in the best spot. Leverages the talent that he's got. He's an aggressive play caller. So I like that being, with what Detroit's got. Jameson Williams, I think, a lot of, big plays there.
Right. No, the offense, I mean, it's stacked.
Exactly.
I don't hate that pick though. They're there right there. Overall defense, it's kind of tough because actually it's funny because with the defense I tried to pick who I think would end up being number 1.
Right.
I actually think the 2 best defenses in the NFL are actually going to be the Eagles and the Buccaneers because of the situational football I talked about. But statistically and on paper, because of their schedule, I still think they're going to be good. I don't think they'll end up getting the consensus number 1, but I think that when it really matters, those are going to be the defenses you don't want to see on a 3rd and longer in the red zone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
But I ended up going, and this was a toss-up, Broncos or Texans, I think. But I went with the Broncos mainly because Texans are really good at the starting level. Couple key injuries, Texans take a huge dip. Like, they're stacked with the starters. There's not a ton of depth going on behind that. The Broncos, though, are stacked with good depth. So I gave them the edge because of depth.
Well, it's hard not to like the Broncos. I mean, I was in the same boat. I think, and we were talking about this, Broncos or Texans, kind of was what we saw. We both had them at 1 and 2. I went with the Texans. You've got a dominant pass rush, Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, those guys. And then DeMeco Ryans, physical, competitive. He's going to come after you. And then their secondary is just elite. Their 3 corners might be the best 3 in all of football, right? So that's definitely not going to hurt you.
No, for sure. And with that, I think, I've kind of given a few bold takes. Do you have a bold take for us, Nick? You got to give us one.
I do. So my bold take that I decided that I'm going to go with is, and I know I didn't say this in our divisional breakdown, but things change and you want to see it anyway. My bold take is that the Raiders are going to make the playoffs. That's my bold take. I like it. 3rd team out of the AFC West, maybe 4th. That would be hilarious. You know, the Raiders, they got Pete Carroll, Geno Smith coming in. So
We talked about a lot. Yeah, Ashton Genty. You talked
Ashton
about a lot there.
Genty.
Chip Kelly. Yep.
Brock Bowers, you know, tight end, Chip Kelly.
Who's their number one receiver?
Right. Well,
Do you know who
I
any
don't.
receiver is?
I don't know the receiving core.
Neither do I.
I like their running back.
Like
run
Nate
game's gonna be-
Bargatze. What is it? What's in a hot dog? Nobody knows.
Well,
Nobody
Bowers
knows.
Bowers is a good spot for Geno.
So their tight end group, they have a good 1-2 punch at tight end that's very underrated.
Jacoby Myers.
Oh, that's right. Jacoby Myers.
Yeah. Yeah. You just hate the Raiders. That's okay.
No, I don't hate the
it.
Raiders. My only point with that is I actually love what the Raiders are doing. I think the Raiders are a year away from what you're talking about. But I like it as a bold take.
Yeah, I mean,
Because the idea of a bold take is it's not something someone sees, like Jackson Dart being the and like those are things that aren't supposed to happen.
the
no one's
offense is
talking
going to be
about.
the Raiders' strength. It's the defense
Right.
that's got the concerns. So if they come through, right, Max Crosby leads the way. I'd like to see the Raiders in the playoffs.
No, I do too. Yeah, no, I don't hate the division getting better at all. I just think they're still a year away.
And here's the thing too.
Realistically.
They do have an easy path. If it were going to happen, they play the AFC South, and they play the NFC East. I see them competing with the Giants and the not the Commanders, but Giants and Cowboys.
Do they play the Giants later in the year, in the beginning of the year?
I don't know their schedule on that.
Yeah, they're
one.
not beating Jacksonville led Giants.
But if you got the South, you know, I could see them beating Jacksonville, Tennessee, Colts, maybe probably not Texans. And then they got Browns, Bears, and Patriots. Browns and Bears, those are possible gets too. Patriots, that's actually week 1. And when we do our week 1 episode, we were talking about having games that we want to do a deep dive in. And I didn't want to pick it, but a game that actually kind of went up the poll for me was Raiders Patriots. I think that actually will have some good stories for week 1. But that'll be on our next episode. But you know, if the Raiders with an easy schedule, maybe they can squeak into the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, except their division.
That's the I mean, that's what I'm saying. They have to
Their
be a
schedule's not
third-
really that easy.
Well, the
Half of their schedule is easy.
6 games are against their division, and then you got the AFC South, NFC.
Can you
East.
tell me a more brutal 6-game division stretch in the NFL?
Fair. I mean, that is fair. That's 6. So okay, so you go 1-5, right? 1-5.
Oh, the Chargers. Yeah. Okay. I didn't think about who they could beat for a second. That's all right. Chargers.
No.
Chargers.
You even said it. Chiefs end of the year because they're resting their starters, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. If they get the well-rested Chiefs,
Yeah.
maybe the Chiefs already have the number 1 seed and just go 14-3 and say.
So in the other 11 games that they're not playing their division, if they can go like, well, God, it'd have to be 8-3 if they were 1-5 to have a chance. So
they're not doing that.
I like it still.
All right.
The odds, you know, it's funny. The odds they have them plus 310. So 100 gets you 300.
There you go.
So,
You
But
wanna light $100
gambling
on
don't-
fire?
we're not, but
Yeah, it's gambling douchebags.
Yeah, no advice given.
Uh,
What about you? What's a bold take for you?
already given a bunch.
Yeah,
Giants, the
Oh, you
Chiefs
did.
record setting.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
been
yeah,
dropping
yeah.
bold takes throughout the whole episode. Where you been at?
You were throwing them left and right.
I was.
You were throwing darts left and right.
I was. Yeah. Dude, isn't that great to announcer too?
Yeah,
Oh, we got Jackson throwing another dart to Malik Neighbors.
I like Neighbors.
Wow, what is this? 42-3 against
know,
the Raiders?
My fantasy draft is this Sunday, and I definitely will be looking for Malik Neighbors.
For sure.
So
But with that, I think we've had a good episode.
we have. I like
Yeah.
it. We're excited about this coming season. We got week 1 coming around the corner. Our next episode will be our picks, and can't wait.
All right, let's do it. Peace out.
Later, everybody.